Hey guys, it's Anna. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming another episode of my unfiltered opinions on popular fragrances. If you're new to this series, this is where I rapid review perfumes that I won't be bringing into my collection either because I'm not a fan of them, or I think they're great, but maybe I have, for example, something similar already in my collection. Also, if I happen to not like something that you love, it doesn't matter. Wear whatever you love, whatever that may be. First, I want to cover the new launches from Maison Mataha. This brand is for the gourmand lovers, and I stress gourmand. I do love gourmands, but I like mine with something anchoring it to keep it from being a very literal, like true foodie scent, except for when it comes to vanilla. Like I am all down for a true vanilla gourmand. So something to keep in mind while I review these, because I feel like a lot of people are fans of specifically Brownie Pop. Entirely too much for me. Honestly, I felt nauseous wearing it. It is so sweet, so dense, so gourmand. The biscuit note is way too heavy for my liking. That's also something I struggle with, like a savory, bready quality or like a puff pastry accord. Pie crust, it just goes too gourmand for me. I also don't care for this very buttery and caramelized popcorn note. It also has hazelnuts, and then all that is mixed in with this gooey, fudgy brownie and vanilla. It doesn't smell bad, but it couldn't be further from my taste. This is for people who want gourmand in like its most true form. Extremely sweet, extremely dense. And then their other release, Invasion, it was an invasion to my nose. Evasion Bonbon, again, entirely too much. I'm aware this sounds dramatic. I do not do this often, but I physically recoiled when I smelled this. It smells like sticking your nose in a bag of strawberry Fun Dip powder and inhaling. Synthetic, overbearingly sweet. The Maker Dream, I feel like everybody has been loving this fragrance, and I've been hearing that this is a gourmand that is not that gourmand, so to have that expectation in your head. But even going in to sample this, knowing that, it truly wasn't even close to how gourmand I was expecting it to be. It's rightfully classified as a gourmand because of the note breakdown we have, but the sweetness is like truly minuscule. This is a dry, powdery cocoa fragrance with cinnamon butter and sandalwood. I mainly get a very dry profile with just a touch of a creamy quality. Very, very soft vanilla sweetness. I thought this was all right. It just falls a bit flat for me and comes off a bit stale. I will admit I did have high expectations for the new Glossier You perfumes, because Glossier You is a pretty iconic fragrance, and it's not like Glossier is launching perfumes frequently, but these were both a letdown for me. You Reve and You Doux, extremely light wearing, like true skin scents. You Doux smells like a fresher, creamier version of Le Labo Santal 33. Granted, it is quite the departure because Santal 33, first of all, it's a very strong fragrance and it comes off much more dry, much more punchy. You get a ton of that wood and definitely has more of an aromatic quality, but upon smelling You Doux, you immediately pick up that familiar DNA. And there are plenty of fragrances out there doing their spin on that profile. We don't need another one. And there are options out there that I think are better alternatives to Santal 33 than You Doux. You Reve, it almost had me. It almost had me. That opening was delicious, addictive, had some sweetness from vanilla, but it wasn't too sweet. But then dried down, flat, like a nondescript musky plum with a waxy undertone. Moving to a more positive review, Guerlain Patchouli Paris. This is good. Patchouli can be hit or miss for me. It really depends on how it's done and what it's paired with. It's not one of my favorite notes, but I definitely don't hate it. I would describe this as unisex, chic, sophisticated, and in the house's fashion. It just has that Guerlain private blend smooth DNA. It's mainly, of course, patchouli, so it's earthy, has a smidge of a chocolatey undertone. There is a light vanilla, and then it has iris to give it a powdery feel, and it also smells a touch smoky to me as well. Like, I imagine this could be a signature scent of a Parisian person who happens to smoke from time to time. This is a very well done patchouli scent. Smooth, refined, classy. This was a big like for me. I'm not gonna buy a bottle just because I feel like it's still a bit heavy on the earthy patchouli for me, but I think it's fantastic. And I know that there are people who really love this perfume who don't normally gravitate towards patchouli, so it could be one to check out. Then we have Lattafa Teriaq Intense. Quite a departure from the original. They really don't remind me of each other, and I personally prefer the Intense. This is a very sexy, smooth plum liquor, tonka bean, amber, saffron fragrance. There's a slight nod to khamra, I'd say about like 15%, so I don't find it redundant. And it also reminds me of Byredo Vanille Antique, about 40%. This is a fantastic scent. It smells expensive. I just don't need it due to owning Vanille Antique, and I do prefer the perfume I already have, but it is a good one. And it performs like a beast, so you're really getting bang for your buck. Then we have Candied Lychee from the Seven Virtues. I have a lot of luck with this brand. I feel like I enjoy a lot of their fragrances. I had such high expectations for this one because I love the Seven Virtues. I love lychee perfumes, and I was really excited to experience a candied take on that note. I was so close to blind buying this, but luckily I was good. I went in store first. It's not what I expected it to be. To me, and you could be completely different, but to my nose, it doesn't even read specifically lychee. Truly what it smells like to me are those chewy, sugar-coated strawberry belt candies. So yeah, it wasn't what I was hoping for. I wasn't hooked on it, and it was giving me more like Bath & Body Works vibes. From Atelier des Ors Coco Kimiya, I thought it was okay. It's a pretty simple smelling fragrance. It's literally just cardamom and cocoa listed, but I do get a booziness from this scent, almost like a rum-filled chocolate. And as it dries down, a spiciness comes in more and kind of has a dark gingerbread accord. This is a dark, dry, unsweetened gourmand, very unisex. Orebella Nightcap. I liked this one. It's been my favorite from her line. I really disliked her other scents. Nightcap smells like a mix between a ginger ale or ginger beer and a root beer. But I've also just come to terms with the Orebella formula is just not for me. I love the inspiration, design, and imagery behind the brand, except for the fact that the bottles like can't stand up on their own. I feel like they should. I feel like that should be a requirement for perfume bottles. But it feels a bit sticky on my skin, and I like having the option of spraying my perfume all over me, like on my clothes, and you can't do that with this formula because it's an alcohol-free formula. So it would leave oil spots on your clothes. I feel like I need to touch on this because I don't know why people are saying Dulce by Rosie Jane is a dupe for Bianco Latte, because I don't even find them to smell similar, let alone it being a dupe. They both have vanilla and musk, but they don't come off in the same way to me. Dulce was a big like for me. It's comforting, cozy, likable, soft. It's a fluffy vanilla musk with a hint of chocolate. Something about it smells like a sugary cereal to me, so that makes it not 100% my vibe, but it does smell really good. This sits very close to the skin on me. I got about 3 hours from it. Bianco Latte is much sweeter, more dense, more creamy. It has that pronounced caramel, and to me smells like warm, slightly gooey sugar cookies and buttercream frosting. Phlur Strawberry Letter. I would describe this to smell like 80% strawberry jam, 20% like strawberry snow cone syrup. It's fun, yummy, sweet, juicy, youthful. I pick up on, of course, strawberry, sugar, plum, cassis, and apple blossom. It was fun to sample, but I prefer something more refined and natural smelling. Lattafa Bade'e Oud Noble Blush. I like this one. It's not as gourmand and creamy and sweet as I expected it to be from hearing people's reviews. Like, it has those facets, but this is much more floral forward than I expected. It has a rose milk note listed. So I was thinking it was going to be this creamy, softened floral, like rose essence infused. My nose picks up a true dominant rose. I don't get the milk, and unfortunately it gives me a little bit of a headache, but I do love the rest of it. It has vanilla, creamy sandalwood, musk, some almond. Meringue is listed. I can't say that I smell this and I'm like, oh yes, I can pick up on meringue. But even though it wasn't a complete love for me, I do think it's a good fragrance. So if you love rose and a soft gourmand quality, I'd check it out. Ciao Bello Pistachio from Jousset. I loved the opening. I totally get pistachio macaroons and pistachio ice cream. I was like, finally, a perfume with a big enough dose of pistachio. You also get the marzipan and vanilla. As it dries down, the wafer note comes out more and kind of makes me think of cereal, like Cheerios specifically. That part isn't for me. It still smells good, just not for me. This loses points for having bad performance. It becomes a skin scent after a couple of minutes and lasts like about 2 hours. And then to wrap up the reviews, Creed Delphinus I thought was very lovely, chic, sophisticated, understated. It's powdery, delicate. You get a lot of orris root. There's a bit of earthiness and a green quality coming through from that and the heliotrope. Lots of dry almond with some pink pepper. There's a smooth leather in the base. The leather isn't anything heavy, with a not too sweet vanilla and tonka. This had intimate projection, also not a long wearing fragrance. I like it, but I do expect more from a fragrance at this price point, not only with performance, but also I need to be captivated by the scent. It was lovely, but I need to be wowed. That wraps up my reviews for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I'd appreciate it so much. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.